Now, doing this drill here turned my driving of the golf ball from a weakness to a massive strength of my game. So what this did, this gave me so much more control over my club path going through the golf ball, but also the control of my club face. So I started to hit some really straight drives, a tiny bit of curvature, but extremely manageable. And I used to be horrendous with my driver. I had no idea where that ball was going to go vast majority of the time when I was on the tee. So this really dropped my scoring down massively. So like we saw in the intro, this is the drill here where I'd have a big long alignment stick. So this is my swing plate with the extension pole attachment. I would extend it out to where it's just on the trail side of my head here. And all I needed to do was hit a ball and not hit this with my head. So for me, why that helped me so much and gave me all those massive benefits, so turning this into a strength of my game from the weakest point of my game, was it targeted my fault exactly. So my fault was I would be coming in the downswing and I would be really dropping back and back and back and back with my upper body to where my head would get so far behind where the golf ball is from where it originally was at setup that my head would be way back behind the rest of my body. Now, when that happens here, guys, you are going to, one, lose the rate of your rotation. So your rotation going through the shot is generally going to slow down dramatically because you're having this excessive movement into your trail side. So that's one area. And what's that going to affect? That's going to affect the control of this, your club face. Because if your rotation isn't smooth and at a good constant rate going through the ball, you're not going to have good control over your club face. If it slows down and your arms will take over, you're going to get flippy. You might hit it right, you might hit it left. All depends on your timing at that point. So that's one big area. And two, when I'd have that excessive massive side bend in the downswing, which really for me happened from transition, I moved back. That would have two effects depending on how my body tried to time it up. I could completely keep that club on the inside because when we have more excessive trail side bend, it moved the club massively behind me and then I'll have to throw it out through the golf ball, huge into out path. My body would also at times try to do something a bit crazy going through the golf ball. I would be halfway down, of course, with this big side bend, it would get that huge inside path, be way underneath the plane, and all of a sudden, the club would go out to in going through the golf ball. I would always wonder, why on earth is that happening? Why is that club diverging so much out to where I was fading the ball with a huge, and hitting a pull fade with a huge inside path halfway down my downswing. But then measured on a launch monitor, I'd be a couple degrees from out to in. Because my body was trying to do its best. It started to adapt to that swing fault. To where then it started to chuck the club out in front, going through the golf ball, all with just throwing my angles. I'd also be adding loft as I did that as well, just so I could hit my target a little bit more functionally. So a real bad thing happened. My body tried to self-organize itself to hit the ball to the target with that terrible thing I was doing earlier in my downswing. Not in a consistent way though. I couldn't predict what it was going to do. And also that excessive trail side bend, terrible for the back. So I've made a few videos on my channel before about the coach I used to see all the time in my playing days, and I also still go to see him sometimes. Coaches have coaches too. Lee Cox, unbelievable coach, long drive coach mainly, but still very, very knowledgeable guy. And he gave me this drill to do. So where I would be hitting balls just with something simply just here by my head. So even though we weren't targeting it technically, we were just trying to get it. So if my head moved back, I'd hit this stick. Simple. Extremely, extremely simple. So for someone who is the coach of the current world long drive champion, you would have thought there'll be a drill that he would give you a little bit more complicated than this, but not the case. Simplicity is key. So then I just hit tons and tons of balls, not hitting that with my head. That's all I did. Felt very uncomfortable when I started off. I could barely do it when I started off. But then as I got better and better with it, it was amazing at how consistent my ball flight was. I just started hitting a little couple yard fade. And then I was hitting so many more fairways. I went from hitting, God, I must have been hitting probably about 4 fairways around to now I'm hitting, really it'd be rare if I miss one. So that's how much your golf swing can change when you have something that targets your exact root course. And if you're someone who has that excessive early side bend, yes, side bend's good. With driver, helps us hit it on the up, but we don't want it going crazy amounts. It'll be hard for your body to control everything else that's going on in that downswing. So if you have the same problem, give this drill a go. It's still a great drill to do. I've made a video earlier on my channel how this has really helped me with irons and how this in its totality got me to become a golfer where I can shoot consistently in the 60s. So very, very, very good drill. Have a go at it if you want to. So if you enjoyed this video, click that like button if you want more golf instruction just like this. Hit the subscribe button, hit the bell button too to be notified every time I put out a video.